Cast your bread upon the waters. Ecclesiastes 11. 1 says, "For after many days you will find it again." Every time you sow into someone's need, God opens unseen markets of opportunity that outperform every stock or bond you could own. Even Jesus operated under this law. He fed 5,000, not by hoarding what was left, but by giving what seemed insufficient. The miracle wasn't in multiplication, it was in motion. The bread moved, and so did the blessing. That's how heaven's interest rate stays infinite, because what's given with purpose never expires. It's spiritual compound growth. And here lies the hidden genius of God's financial design. He doesn't promise to double your money, He promises to double your meaning. The divine law of exchange teaches that your giving doesn't leave your life. It simply changes form. What you release on earth turns into favor in heaven. And those who understand this principle stop chasing returns and start walking in overflow. Debt versus dominion. In the world's economy, debt is the foundation. Governments, businesses, and families all borrow against the future to survive the present. But in God's economy, debt was never part of the original design. Adam wasn't created to owe. He was created to own. Dominion, not dependence, was God's first command. Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Genesis 1:28. Debt came later as a symptom of fear, greed, and disconnection from divine provision. Every earthly bond reflects a spiritual one, a chain tying humanity to a system of scarcity. The modern bond market may appear sophisticated, but it's built on promises of repayment that assume imperfection. People borrow because they lack, and lend because they fear loss. But in the kingdom, lack doesn't exist, only stewardship. God never calls His children to borrow what He's already given them the power to create. Deuteronomy 28:12 says, "You shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow." That's not just a financial goal, it's a spiritual identity. Every time you live under debt, you trade your freedom for convenience. The world calls it leverage. Heaven calls it limitation. The borrower becomes slave to the lender, not only economically, but emotionally. You can't serve two masters. One demands payment, the other gives purpose. In God's system, money is a servant, not a ruler. True dominion begins when you stop living on borrowed peace and start operating from divine ownership. Look at how nations function. Endless borrowing, endless rolling over of debt, paying interest upon interest. That's not growth. That's survival disguised as prosperity. Yet God offers a different blueprint, Jubilee. Every 50 years, debts were canceled, slaves freed, and land restored. Why? Because in the kingdom, ownership is cyclical, not competitive.